My husband, Daniel, will not be with us tonight, so it'll just be me. And our topic tonight is language as healer. What do I mean by that? Everything is vibration, right? Everything. Your little toenail is vibration. A flower is vibration. A star is vibration. A sunset is vibration. You are vibration. Your feelings, your organs, your thoughts, and your words. Butterflies are vibration. Everything is vibration. That's what the universe is made of. So when we're talking about language as healer, since it has vibration, it has the power then to be a good vibration, to change things in a good way, or not so much. It can hurt others, right? And we all know that, in our minds, we know that if somebody calls us names or says nasty things to us, cuts us down, whatever, that feels poorly, right? It doesn't feel good. And so you know that it has that power, that it does have power. But do you know that how you internalize that affects you going forward? For example, I'm talking with a friend and I say an F-bomb, or maybe call them the B word or something, and I say it with love and tenderness and in a lighthearted way, and they receive it in that same way, knowing that I don't mean it hurtfully, that I mean it lovingly, then that's the energy that's going to come through. But if I use those same words out of anger, out of fear, out of envy, out of any of those other kinds of energies, they're going to feel it and internalize it in that way. If that's where they feel, right? If that's what they feel and that's how they allow it to get to them. The other option is I could say those words and the recipient could choose to not internalize them, to let it go. So, for example, recently somebody decided that they were going to put a curse on me. And they told me they were. And I just immediately chose to not accept it. That whatever that they were going to put out there, that I was choosing to not allow it to affect me, regardless. That's a choice that I made, and that's the vibration that I set up. And so I chose to not allow those words to be hurtful to me and their actions, however they put their curse together. So it's how you use the words and it's how it's internalized. So you can rise above. Somebody uses hurtful words towards you. You can allow it to kind of drag you down, or you can choose to just let it go. Let it not come into your field and let it just, it's on them. They're having a bad day. They're perhaps always having a bad day. Maybe they're just kind of an unhappy person in general. But you can choose whether or not it affects you. Clearly, when we're young, we're not taught that. And so all of us, I'm sure, have baggage, have leftover trauma from words that were used against us when we were young. But now we're adult, and we have the capacity to have that understanding, and we have the capacity to choose to not let it affect us. We also have the ability to erase traumas, right? And that's something that I love doing, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. But you need trauma healed, give us a call. Words, another way that words are important, are in how you own your situation. You can say, I am poor. I am sick. I am unhappy. I am, all kinds of things. When you say I am sick, you are owning that I am sick. Now, I, over the years, have had so many physical ailments, and I always choose to not name it, to not identify it, to not label myself with whatever that thing was. I don't even want to say it now. And just choose to live from the perspective of, it's going to be okay. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to heal from it. I will find the way. Now, there was one thing that took me years to figure out how to heal myself from it. It was hard. And there were days when I was really down. But I didn't own the situation. I just kept plowing through and plowing through. And I had that conversation. If I pass from this, well, it is what it is. But I chose to not own it and not take that language and let it be part of my energy, part of my field, part of my vibration. So not using those words about myself were a way to heal myself, right? Or at least lessen the energy of what was happening, not letting it own me. A way that I have talked about so often regarding words are intense and when somebody passes. A dear friend, we were talking, and it was a group of us, and she said, oh, the next week or, upcoming would have been my husband and mine's 27th or something anniversary. And I said, why did you say would have been? And she just kind of stopped. And I said, it is your anniversary. It is your 27 years. By saying that it would have been, you're hurting yourself, right? You are putting yourself in pain. Embracing that it is your 27th anniversary changes the whole vibration. The same with when you speak about somebody and you say, they were funny, or they're gone, or they're this, they can't hear me. I wish I would have said this. I wish I would have done that. There's no time frame. You use your words and say, I am going to say goodbye to that person. I am going to, they are a funny person. Not they were a funny person, or not I loved them. I loved that person so much. You hear that all the time. Oh, I loved them so much. So they walked on and you don't love them anymore? Try that one on. When you say, I loved my mother so much, how does that feel? But if you say, I love my mother so much, doesn't it feel so much better? Your love didn't die. Love doesn't die. And your mother didn't die. Your mother still exists. She doesn't have a body anymore, but she's still on and she can still hear you. So you're the tense in how you say something. That simple change can raise your vibration. Now, speaking of saying goodbye, we have this thing, you hear this all the time, people say, oh, I can't stand saying goodbye. I just hate saying goodbye. Well, what does it mean to you? Do you know that adios means to God? You are parting physical way with somebody, and you are saying to God. You are saying, go with God, be with God. There's no permanence in that. There's no severance. There's no separation. You're saying, go with God. Auf Wiedersehen. That means until I see you again, right? There's no finality to that. It's not an ending. It's until I see you again, this world or the next, this week or next week, till I see you again. And goodbye, do you know what a bye is? A bye is is a period of time. It's an event. So have a good week, have a good time, have a good whatever. Buys kind of doesn't have a real specific definition, but that I understand. But the point is, you're not saying exit, not seeing you again, it's over. You're saying, have a good day, have a good week, have a good month, have a good year, have a good life. It has nothing about, I'm never going to see you again. Our relationship is finished. It doesn't say anything about that. It is not a hurtful thing to say goodbye. You're wishing them well. You're not saying, we're done. Change your understanding of the words, and the words, because words have power. When you feel that goodbye means it's over, when you say goodbye, that's what you feel. When you understand goodbye means you're wishing them well, you're embracing that power instead. So, self-talk. I'm such a klutz. I have this problem, I'm that problem. No, okay, the klutz thing. I am a klutz. So when I say I'm a klutz, I pretty much say it laughingly, because at this point, I just am a klutz. And it's funny. It truly is funny how much I can trip over just like nothing and walk into walls. I mean, I know the wall's there and I'll still walk into it. But I know this about myself, and again, it's kind of funny at this point, and there's no point being sad about it. So when you use self-talk, oh, I missed that turn. Oh, now I got to go around the block. You know what? Don't beat yourself up. I missed the turn. Silly me. I'll have to go around. I'll be a little late. It's all in God's plan. Use your self-talk to uplift yourself instead of beating yourself down. Don't shit on yourself. I should be further along in life. I should have finished that project. I should. But you didn't. It is what it is. You can say instead, I really wanted to have that project done by last week, but clearly that's not in the cards, and I will get it done in the perfect right time. And we all know that we have missed deadlines, and perhaps there have been repercussions from that. And again, instead of shitting on yourself, you say, well, that was a lesson. That was something I could learn from. Maybe I wasn't meant to get that raise. Maybe I wasn't meant to get that car. Maybe I wasn't supposed to have this, that, whatever it is. But rather than shitting on yourself, embrace it. It is what it is. You can't talk about words without talking about prayer. Whatever it is that you believe that created everything, whatever it is in the universe that holds us, whatever it is that is above and beyond us and our understanding, that's who you pray to, or what you pray to, however you want to term it. Those words that you use raise your vibration. You can pray using your own words. You can pray using the revealed prayers from the manifestations of God, of the ascended masters, whatever terminology you want to use. Those prayers have real power. Amazing power. And you can go out and find a prayer book. Or you can use your own prayers. But the point is that there is power. And when you attach your love and your gratitude and your connection with Source, with those words, that raises. So If we're talking about words and language is healer, don't forget prayers. Wendy says the body hears everything. Yes, the body hears everything. The universe hears everything. Every thought you have, every action you take, every word you speak changes the universe, not just you. And you know how I learned this? From a 4-year-old kid. My son and I were driving down the highway in Chicago, rush hour. If any of you know Chicago rush hour traffic, you will be sympathetic to me. But I was just cussing up a storm, calling people names. I was just so frustrated and allowing it to get to me. Now, this was 26 years ago, so I've gotten a little bit better since then. But what really put me, it was my 4-year-old son said to me, "Mom, stop that. Stop doing that." And I said, "They can't hear me." And he said, "Yes, they can." Stop me in my tracks. Luckily, I still was, conscious and driving. But that just shifted my whole, whoa, they can hear me. Yes, they can. Maybe not with their ears, maybe not with their conscious mind, but their soul, their spirit, their vibration knows that I said that. Your thoughts and your words have so much power. And when you recognize that the whole universe is affected by how you think and feel, it changes. You are now responsible for what you say and do. It affects you and it affects the world around you. Swearing in your house, and then your child starts swearing, and then you want to chastise them for swearing. Well, where do you think they learned it from? If you're using it, they're learning it. I also wanted to talk about words in the written form. Again, prayers from Ascended Masters are so powerful, so beautiful, but also from like Khalil Gibran and Whitman and all these poets that just have this magnificent way with words, or sometimes a novel. I remember A Tale of Two Cities. I just wept and wept and wept. There is beauty and power in words, and some people just have this magnificent gift of using words in a beautiful way that can lift you up. When it reaches you, when it touches your soul, there's a power and a beauty there that you can use to heal yourself. You can spend time with one poem. You can write a poem. You can, however, find things that lift you up. And words are a powerful way to do so. Does anybody have any questions? I'm just glancing at my notes, see if I missed anything. Oh, this is important. And once you hear me, and once you hear this, you're responsible. So if you don't want to be responsible, go away. Your word is your bond. I know I'm not the first person to say it to you, but I'm going to explain it to you in case you don't get it. It comes out of your essence. It comes out of your mouth. It came out of your brain. And your brain, your mind, your consciousness, and your heart should be connected. You don't want to have a dichotomy. You don't want to have your brain thinking one thing and your heart thinking something else. When you say something, "I'll be there at 2. Then you be there at 2. If something comes up, you contact the other person. I'm sorry, I'm going to be late. This happened, this happened. I apologize. I will be there at 2:30. You say, I love you to someone, you better mean it. You're creating an energy. Sometimes we kind of say it, kind of whip it out there. And yes, there is kind of a general casual love that we have for humanity in general. But when you say it to somebody in a personal way, if you don't mean it, don't say it. It hurts. It hurts them and it hurts you. If you take on a job, excuse me, take on a job, you have certain responsibilities. Do them. Don't try and find shortcuts. Don't try to find a way out of it. You all know what I'm talking about. You call customer service and they put you on hold. Oh, I'll be right back with you. They put you on hold and they never come back. Don't be that person. Be the one that does come back. Be the one that goes, solves the problem, figures out what the person needs, and comes back. And if you can't solve it, obviously, then you contact them anyways. You get back with them and say, you know what, I really can't find the answer to this. I'm going to send you to somebody else, whatever. But don't leave people hanging. Your word is your bond. Yes, say what you mean and mean what you say. And if you have to make adjustments, then make adjustments. And I do this all the time. I will say, for example, I had an example in my head earlier. Whenever you shit on yourself or you say something to someone, this happens a lot. I'll say something to somebody from the heart. I'll say it, it comes out my mouth, they hear it, they're reflecting, whatever. And as I'm sitting with it, I'm thinking, that's really not what I mean. I didn't say that correctly. And so I fix it. It's okay to have made a mistake. You can, if they're still sitting with you, obviously, then you just talk them, or you call them back, or you email them, or you whatever. Say, I'd like to clarify that. I don't think I expressed myself properly. What I really share with you was this. And you can even put the caveat in that I'm still working through this, and I'm not really sure, but this is what I think I feel. Because do you always know what you feel? I don't. Maybe you do, but I know I don't. I get confused sometimes. I think that I'm feeling this because that's how I'm expressing or whatever. But then when I reflect on it, I realize, that's not really what's going on. Really, this thing underneath is going on. Okay, so what does that mean now? So again, my thoughts have power, my words and my mind have power, but also how I'm sharing with others. So you are perfectly free to retract what you say. And even if you say something to the universe, I hate red lights. Cancel clear. What I meant to say was, I allow red lights to frustrate me. And I'm going to do a better job. I understand that that's a lesson I need to learn. And going forward, I will accept red lights for what they are, a pause in my life. Simple, easy. All right. I don't see any questions. Do me a favor. Please do me a big fat favor. On the subscribe button, click that thing. Click that thing. It helps me. It helps us to grow the channel. It helps us, for one thing, to be able to get our name, because right now our name is some weird, our YouTube channel is some, letters and numbers that mean nothing. So when we get enough subscribers, we can actually personalize it to Noble Wisdom. So, Noble Wisdom, that's our channel. And we're sharing what we know and what we're learning about our spiritual journey, and hopefully helping you all along the way. So, remember to think eternal. Think eternal. You live forever, forever and ever. Have that perspective. Think eternal, but act now. Good night. I can figure out how to get out of here. There it is. Okay. Good night.